Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon. Today we're going to be going over a few games. We're going to be going over three main ones. Engine Heart, Busty, Barbarian, Bimbos, Eoris, and then a very special guest at the end. I'll let you debate on what that one's going to be. Did it now ping? It now pinged. Oh my god, ProfitBot, why are you the way that you are? But exactly. I don't know why it took 6 minutes for it to register it, but it does its own thing. But yes, today we're going to be going over three very unique games for various reasons. And you may be wondering what's the reason I said games that made it. Hello, Sachiko. Games that made it are games that made it past, into obscurity. Two of the games we're going to be looking at are TG originals. As they originated from TG, being Engine Heart and Busty, Barbarian, Bimbos. While, on the other hand, Eoris is such a unique game that it's impossible to not talk about as it got published legitimately for money. I don't know how. And the final one, our very special guest, is one I've been requested to take a look at for quite a while. I kept saying no, but I finally have the words to actually say it. I have how to say it properly now. But also, you may notice we have Tiny Doge here, Innocent Doge. Innocent Doge is here exclusively for Busty, Barbarian, Bimbos, because, hoo boy, there are some. Yes, we are doing the Bimbo game today. Half of me doesn't want to do it first, but the other half of me kinda does. So, let me just... Let me make sure everything is working properly. So, now, Innocent Doge here is here to block out some things, but, this game got made. This game is real. Yeah, no, some of them really kind of push the... It's one of those things when you remember... And again, this was 2014 when this got made. And there are some shit in this I'm just like, you could not get away with Busty, Barbarian, Bimbos today. Let's just say that. Like, just make it that an abundant point. The second one we're going to be looking at is Engine Heart. Now, those in TG circles, those may not, may recognize this. It is technically based on the stats of tits. This is an objective stat. You can't hit me. Twitch, please. Mr. Bezos-san, please. But yes, Engine Heart is kind of like the polar opposite, but both originated from TG, where BBB is a very lighthearted game. Engine Heart actually goes into some fairly deep themes, and is unfortunately a tabletop game, and I'll kind of get to it when we get to that point. They actually do talk about flat representation. That is a... let me yeah, give me 1 second as I go through all the stats there. Yeah, we do have flat representation, except I don't want to go into the 4chan party van very soon. Now, this is Eoris. I will do my best for Eoris. However, I actually tried to make a character in this game the other day. It took me an hour. Hello, Salmon. This took me an hour to make a single character, and I'm not even quite sure I did it right. And it's weird. It's a beautifully weird game, but we can blame the Colombians for it. And I have the special book open. I have it here in the folder. I'm ready for it. But which one do you got? Which of you? How do you people want to see it? Which one do you want to see first? Do you want to see Engine Heart, Eoris, or BBB first? I'll let it up to democracy. Let's just get the boobies out of the way. I'm getting some conflicting evidence here, but okay, you know what? We will do BBB first. I'll let everyone splooge over everyone. After stream, I'll start sending things out. Let everyone splooge their load everywhere they want to go for it. But we're also going to be starting off not exactly on a positive note with BBB. I'm gonna be frank with you on that one. Not exactly a positive note. So, Busty Barbarian Bimbos is exactly what it says on the tin. You are literally playing a Valley Girl Barbarian. It is a lighthearted fantasy role-playing game for snickering adolescents, and it plays into that. And we'll get to the mechanics bit. I'm going to look at this completely objectively. I'm going to try not to be like, haha, look, boobs. But that's also completely in the rules kind of thing. Now, 2013 by Burrowing Owl Productions. Let's see if they are even around anymore. Nah, that's not a good sign. Okay, let's check the Kickstarter Busty Barbarian Bimbos. Because again, this actually was a Kickstarter. This made it here. And 607 people backed it. It got its funding way over. They had hardly any artwork. And they had very few artists actually doing things. This is back in 2013, so this had to be back about 2012. BBB proper is probably about almost a decade old at this point, which is odd to think about. You know, this game's almost a decade old. And let's see. I have not found any of these. You know, Mo covers, Mo problems. I haven't really. I see this is on there. Mystery reskin. Not really seen these. Death by Day Spa. Death Spa. Day Spa. Death Spa. Yeah. Now, pedicures, facials, aromatherapy by the creator of Engine Heart. Viral games. Now, Viral is a unique character, and we unlock our finest modest stretch goal. Optional hardcover edition. That's pretty much it. This was a very simple, like, thing back in the day. One of those things that you could actually get away with. Run down what happened. Run down what's going on so far. It's just Busty Barbarian Bimbos. It's kind of hard to find. Is there, let's see, is Burrow Owl doing anything anymore? Do you got a website? Okay, he's still active. Have you... Nah, you haven't. Okay, actually, we do have a website. Oh, it's a good... We're dealing with some good website design here, boys. Let's fucking... Oh, Cupcake. We are going to be going over 4 games today. About games that kind of made it. That took the leap into being real games. And we just started, actually. And we're going to be going over Busty Barbarian Bimbos first. A game of exactly what it says on the tin. No, they're real. It isn't even a website. It's an FTP server. Yeah. No, it's... Like, the one thing you gotta remember, like, this last modified 2016. BBB proper is over a decade old. That's weird to think about, isn't it? Almost a decade has gone by, and this game is now out there, but gone. I don't even know if you can buy it anywhere. Actually, let's see. Busty Barbarian Bimbos. Where can I buy? Good start. Good start. Okay, I can buy it on Amazon. Okay, let's dox myself real fast. Yeah, I can buy the paperback for 20 bucks on Amazon. And that's it. Yeah, that's really it. Like, this is back in the day. This is some old school stuff. Like, not even on drive-through. I don't even think you can... Like, even me getting the PDF was kind of a difficult thing. 5e update when. I don't think you really can. Yeah. Made it. It actually released. Now, the first two we're going to be going over, BBB and Engine Heart, those were originally 4chan products. Those were made and born and bred on TG, had a Kickstarter, got released formally, and are real games. Eoris, on the other hand, is the same thing. It wasn't made on TG, however, it was released and made and published, and you can buy it. And it's weird because I wanted to go over these games because it's important to remember that there are other games that make it, that, you know, make it official, that, well, die. That go away, and we just never see them again. And that's kind of sad because there's so many games released. So little time. Yeah, exactly. So let's see, anything here? No, there's nothing here. Armored Approach, Dagger Stab, Mordhau PNG. Here's Mordhau PNG. Don't know why this is here. But alright, yeah, that's Burrowing. Like, there's nothing really about them anymore. They're gone. Well, let's see. What have they backed? A lot of games. Tell me, Burrowing, what have you backed? Oh, no, private. But yeah, that's really all I can find about the game, outside of the, let me find a 1D4chan article on it. Yeah, remember 1D4? I remember. It's still very proudly, you know, displayed, and, you know, everyone loves it, but that's it. Welcome to, if you really want to, here's the entire game. There isn't actually that much to it, which is kind of the tragedy of things. Yeah. Now, there is not CP. I can guarantee you that. I wouldn't even say this is a one-trick pony. I think this was made, and you'll notice by some of the mechanics, this was made in a thread. I definitely know it was made in a thread, because some of the mechanics are very odd, very strange. So, this is, ladies of the chat, I apologize ahead of time, because chock-a-block full strapping young men performing great deeds, Busty, Barbarian, Bimbos, you'll take the role of skimpily clad heroine straight from the canvas of Boris Vallejo or Frank Cho. This is a game written by dudes. I will say that right fucking now. You are... There is a mechanic for shopping. And now we get the first piece of artwork. The artwork is kind of hit and miss, depending on what you like. This was very much, you know, made for, I want to do this. There are actually, I think, only 3 pictures of men throughout the entire book. Now, what is the actual system? What is the actual thing we're going to be doing here? Is the main game is a D6 system. You're going to roll 3d6, and you're trying to get under your attribute. You ranked from 2 to 5. That's it. You have 4 stats. You're always going to roll 3d6. If you get 1 under, you succeeded easy. Medium, you need 2. 3, hard, 3. That's it. 2 or more 1s is a critical success. 2 or more 6s is a critical failure. That is it. Congratulations, you have successfully done the game. There's a raise mechanic, which is pretty much just raise the difficulty by 1 step. That's it, really. Welcome to the assume setting. Don't worry about it. It doesn't really matter. Now, build a bimbo. Bimbos are actually really easy to create, but also incredibly odd. What I mean by a character sheet from Pub, that's, you can't really get a character sheet anymore. You have to get it from the book. stats, intangibles, and special abilities, and your outfit. Those are the 4 things about this game. Intangibles don't really do anything. Special abilities do things. Stats do things. Outfits sort of do things. So what is the slut engine? Now, that sounds odd to say, but that's something that we have to talk about. It's the slut engine, which is slap, legs, and tits. Those are your 4 stats. Those are your 4 key attributes that everything is based on them. And to kind of summarize, strength, which is strength, agility, brains, charisma, or luck. This is actually a fairly elegant system. Like, I'm not going to lie when I say, like, this is, it is thematic. You are doing exactly what it's saying it's going to be. And all these are actually fairly open. You can do some things fairly accurately. What is the slut engine? But this is what it is. And, people, I posted some of the images the other night around some Discords, and people are like, haha, booby score 2, haha, big boob 2. I mean, like, no, she probably has a tit score of at least 4. Like, and the people were just flummoxed with it, being like, what do you mean a tit score? Like, yeah, that's a stat, it's tits. And they do not refer to characters as characters, they refer to them as bimbos. I am going to get flagged for this. Like, I am going to get into the sadness place where I belong. Now, it is for images like these from which our doji boy will probably show up. Nothing is too racy, to be perfectly honest. Nothing is like excessively racy. There's only one that I really need to like censor, and I know exactly when it'll come up. So you can use these stats for other things. If you wanted, like, it's, as with legs, tremendous versatile stat. These are really open stats. That's the entire point of it. If you have an exceptional stat, otherwise you have 5 in it, that's really good. You're really good at it. You're awesome. You're really good. You got a 4 in it. Average is 3. Now, the astute observer will notice something very quickly. Now, the astute observer will know something very quickly, and that being, you have 4 attributes. 4. Now, those 4 attributes govern everything that occurs. They are also the only mechanics in this game. That is something that is kind of hard to beat into someone's head. Like, what you're seeing here, not the literal wooden cutting board in front of me. What you're seeing is the entire game. This is the engine. This is where everything is powered on. It is not really a car engine. It is a scooter engine. It's very light. And if you don't like those really light games, it's going to be hard. Now, this is what I mean by, this was built in Thread, and it was built in Thread for this exact reason. This is the most convoluted character creation available, and not in a good way. So, give me 1 second. I'm going to roll a 6-sided dice 3 times. The first result of my is Bimbo's slap. The second is her legs. The third is her Treat rolls of 1 if you rolled a 2. This is what you have to do for everything on your... It's like, oh god, what is this? So pretty much if I roll a 1, I would have rolled a 2 on my character sheet for slap. I rolled another 1 because fuck me, and I rolled a 6. So I'd have a 4 in my tits, a 2 in my slap, 2 in my legs, and a 5 in my That is how you make a random character. Find you has 0, 1, or 6 or a tit score, you should probably re-roll from scratch. Your stats are way outside the bimbo bell curve. There's no skill on there. Nah, it's a very simple game. And I look at things completely objectively. I look at things completely from a mechanical point of view. And yeah, 5 is like, I'm really damn smart with but it's like, oh, it's a random method. That's kind of odd. And then you have the collaborative method. Oh, and then you have to like pick among each other, like what's what. And then we have tables. Who thought this was a good idea? Being less like, yes, I have great, like, let's see, I have nice tits. I have to roll in the E table. I got a 4-3-2-4. Because you're rolling and looking up things on a table like a nerd. Sometimes I don't think I know you anymore. Now, you may be wondering, Notepad, Notepad, Notepad. Yeah, Notepad, my friend, why isn't there just a method for me to, like, assign points to something? Wouldn't that be easier? That would be easier. However, that's just not a thing. There's no option to be like, oh, I want to, like, okay, I have, like, 6 points distributed among my stats starting at 2, and now I have a 4 here, a 3 there, and a 2 there. That's not a thing, actually, in the game. Yeah, I expect clips out of this. This is going to be painful. But this was made in thread. This was made by a person who sat down being like, you know what we need? Tables. We need tables. More tables. We need all of the tables. And you do. You're going to get those tables. You're going to get these odd things like, what is this collaborative method? Like, why is this here? Like, I get it, but why? It's very odd at some point. Now we get to the intangibles. What personality and background your bimbo may have. Give her a name, write down a description for her. What are your bimbo dress size and measurement? How tall is she? How old is she? What's her favorite color? What kind of order does she make at the coffee shop? Which is a completely valid... How can you do it without a point by point? Yeah. That's... I could kind of see the randomized version of it. Like, I understand that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But it's like... What? It seems like an oversight. And you're kind of seeing what I'm trying to say here. I wouldn't say it's amateurish. I'm saying that this was made by a bunch of people in a 4chan thread who sat down and thought this was a great idea. And those threads were taken by this company or person, Burrowing Owl, and converted into a full game. That's what occurred. And there are... have nothing to do with how dice rolls resolve during play. 2 basic abilities, 1 advanced abilities. That's literally it. Welcome to the entirety of... yeah, no, don't worry. This is fine. She's wearing a dress, Twitch, I swear. Special advantage on all... Yeah, these are basic abilities. These are abilities. Such as Bargain Hunter. Good eye for deals. Shopkeepers are considered to have 0 plot armor against the first based attack by this bimbo. Or you have Dad Ass. Once per scene, a bimbo with dad ass may substitute her legs for her tit score. This is unusable for all application of the tit stat, whether social, shopping, or combat, including wardrobe malfunctions. Dem hips. Flex. When called upon to make a tits check, make a slap check instead. On a failure, lose access to slap for 1 term. This does not render slap vulnerable. The bimbo may simply not use it for a moment. The bimbo may only use flex once per turn. Likeable is just really easy to get along with. Ignore critical fumbles for social situations from a dice roll made from a likable bimbo. This applies to verbal attacks in combat. All of these play into... yeah, these all play into the incredibly simplistic idea behind things. The slut engine is not complex. The problem is it is also incredibly restrictive. I've always said this when I'm talking about writing games or designing stuff, is more mechanics doesn't necessarily mean bad. More mechanics means you have more things to play with. You have more bits and pieces to add and take away. If you have a game where you have one button to jump, what do you do with it? You're going to hit the button to jump. But if you have a button that can jump and then you find a power-up that lets you double jump, you've changed the nature of that mechanic. You changed it. Something else has happened. In tabletop games, this is phenomenally more complex because if you don't have something, you either have to make it or you have to wing it. Hence why it's like, here's social combat. Social combat is in the game because it needs to be. Because there's nothing else. You know, if you don't have social combat, half of these abilities don't mean anything. Also, do you like 2013 4chan anime? I know I do. Also, child belly erotic. I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. Oh no. I knew this was going to be a bitch. This is going to be a pain in my ass to do, but here we go. But yeah, this is what it is. Very simple. Here's your grind set. Yeah, no, that's actually what the magic's called. I forgot. Tittymancy. Versatile. Yeah, here's all your Tittymancy spells. Like, this is an entire system that you have to take one of these to actually use. Now, outfit is exactly what you think about it. Outfits allow you to do things. It's also your equipment, and you may be wondering, okay, Notepad, I'm ready. What does the equipment do? It means abso-fucking-lutely nothing. This entire section really doesn't mean much outside the actual, like, wearing things part. You made comprehensive to a human being. Yeah, no, it's one of the issues with outfit is that your outfit also acts as kind of like a secondary health bar. Is that if you get cut, you can have a wardrobe malfunction. Instead of having yourself cleaved in fucking two, your, top gets destroyed. But that's fine. Or your bottoms get destroyed. Or your shoes do. That's literally it. That's it. It's a game about scarcity. It's a game about, breaking things. You really only have 3 pieces of actual clothing on at any time, but you should have also, as it says here, you should have a purse to carry things in. Most bimbo-appropriate garments lack useful pockets. Light weapon means nothing. Fashionless GM makes an exception for you. Try bribes, flattery, or both. And here are our sample one of our sample characters. Character advancement. You literally this juvenile silliness and perversion. It's too bare bones. That's what I'm saying, Sachiko. It's very light, and I'm going to kind of put this into this. My rough assumption of this game is, my rough idea of it is, you put this alongside, you put this book, you slot it right next to Made. Because Made is not a game you go in there for the mechanics. Made is there, you go in there for like the one-shot hilarity of like, haha, look, we're playing Made. Or this is, haha, look, we're playing Busty, Barbarian, Bimbos. That's it. But it also wants to make you believe it, that it's an actual stat. I don't think long-term play is in this game's bones. Hence why you have things like, yeah, you don't get better stats when you level up. That's just not a thing. Because you can't. Because if you do get better stats, Like, if you do get better stats, you break the game entirely, because there's only 4 stats, and those govern everything. And yeah, we have a bunch of and this is what I mean by, like, this is your entire character. There we go. I have summarized the entire character for you. This is really it. Like, that's kind of the tragedy of the situation. She does have a head. She just isn't rendering in. You also get to see, like, whoever was the artists for it did not really commit very well. Because you have artwork like this, I'm like, alright, and then you have, like, this, like, brazenly anime stuff, like, right here, which seems really out of place. But this is the social combat system. This is where things get a little bit weird. This is literally an entire system about luring and fixing dispositions. Intimidate, to convince, tits to interrogate, and ingratiate. They didn't actually bring in legs, by the way. I find that amusing. And the entire idea is to build up or reduce. However, you need to make a point. Because you don't actually have much, so you have to use what you have. So you end up with things like a character that has recently been subjected to a failed attempt at influence may make a medium check to cause its attitude to degrade to chafing. A character that's chafing his relation to Bimbos' desired result wants her to fail, but is not willing to stick her own neck out of the way, but can make a medium check to cause its attitude to degrade. Helpful. Willing to stick out their own neck for a bit. Helpful character makes a moderate amount of wealth, moderate amount of influence, maybe a light injury to further the Bimbos' cause. A particular unreasonable suggestion can allow a helpful character make a medium check to degrade its attitude to friendly. Determining difficulty. Medium checks, hostile checks, bigger checks. We have to... How do I want to word this? Game Master may rule that a phenomenally endowed heroine could not change its mind. That Game Master is wrong with the game you're trying to play here. This is the first bit. This isn't even combat. We haven't even hit combat yet. This is literally an entire thing to it's an entire social combat system in this game. And here's rules for dealing with crowds, all the NPC options of what people are looking like, helpful versus helpful, forcing a Bimbo's hand, which you have to put that in there because you can get influenced yourself. It's like, okay, that's kind of odd. Criticals and raises. Because you have to do criticals to make things work and how to make the raises. Everything about this, though, is still using that very basic system. You're going to roll your d6, you're going to roll 3 d6s, and you're going to try to get under your score. And if you succeed, congratulations. You have succeeded. You have influenced them and you bumped them up. That's it. And that's where things get a little bit complicated with this game. This kind of sours me to the game, is that you have a lot of things that they're trying to complicate because they don't actually have much. There is no rules to just say, man, make me a tits check real fast. Oh, no, we haven't hit combat yet. We haven't hit combat yet. No, we're in shopping combat right now. Which, welcome to the first man in the book. He is my spirit animal. Because he looks like he has successfully given up life. And he's vibing while this lady is literally pulling out some money to buy shit. Tentacle Monster. Yeah, this is welcome to Tentacle Monster Chew. One of the artists. But yeah, retail conflict. Combat, combat, a standard trope of role-playing game. We're not there. This is literally you fucking fighting to buy shit. Because that is the only way to advance your character. I gotta remember that. Always remember that key fact. This is how you advance your character. You are not advancing your character by improving your stats. You are advancing your character by buying shit. But you may be wondering, Notepad, is money real? No, there is no money. You have to beat them at a check. And if you beat them at a check, you successfully manage to get the item that you want. Aren't any good in managing money? Keeping track of how much money your bimbo has is math. And that's one big thing. We want to get rid of all math. Certain magic items, such as the Masterwork credit card, are specifically only used during bimbo versus shopkeeper conflict. When subdued, is considered the owner of the item. There is shoplifting, which on a fumble, the cops show up in your adventure and may have to switch from busty barbarian bimbos to sexy chicks on cell block 6. Nothing to wear. Which is one of the big things is you have to constantly change your clothes. So you have to make a check to change your clothes. You need just to make an easy tits check. So if you don't have a good tits check, you have to make things. These are some of the... Here are some of the example ones of what you need to make an outfit check. Waking up, going to bed, going out with friends, going out with enemies, going to work, going to the gym. The weather changed, garments lawsuit, wardrobe malfunction. Things didn't go well. We need to challenge the Witch Queen. Here's a... Behold. No. Sorry, Jaco. You gotta buy it using your credit card. And here's the entire section on movement. Like, movement isn't I actually saw this and I laughed because I actually really enjoyed this. This is just funny. Hello, phone. But yeah, who goes first? Because you need to have this entire section of fleeing and chasing and all these different options because there just isn't that much. And yes, there is literally an entire section dedicated to how to run away, because you first need to make the first roll of an check to pick a good escape route, then you need to make a legs to make some space between her and her pursuers, then you need to make a slap or tits check to overcome some obstacles set by the pursuer's back enough that the pursuit is effectively over. You need 3 things to make a runaway from it. 3 checks. Yeah, no, it's... The artwork is really all over the place, and I actually quite enjoy some of the artwork. Like, BBB 2, the Revenge, I think would be like a really interesting thing, just to see some of what people would do. Now, I know we're getting close to the one, yeah, all the criticals. Okay, grids and hex maps, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, getting violent. Okay, is this... Okay, we're good for now. Okay, they get into lots of fights. This is actually the combat section. Stakes aren't retail merchandise. That was handled fundamentally the same as rivals at a store or dinner party. Beat the shit out of your enemies. And this is also I think this artist's waifu. I'm not going to lie. Attacking is pretty good, because if you noticed, we don't actually have health. We have no health. We don't have any health because your stats are your health. That's something you also got to remember. Your stats are your health. You get hit, you reduce your stat. Yep, verbal attacks, striking, very simple. Strike for attack another character. Striking another character is always nearly hostile, degrade. Let's see. To strike a bimbo or NPC rolls a check with appropriate stats. Striking is normally done with a medium check. Circumstances may decrease or increase the difficulty. Slap a stat. Attacking with ranged weapons uses legs. Specific ranges. Okay, there we go. This is the one that I have to bring out Innocent Doge for real fast. Skin to skin range is not medium check anymore. That's hard. You pretty much need to hit. Okay, so let me deploy Innocent Doge here real fast. And no, let's look at him. Okay, yeah, wrestling is in the game because of course it is. And the reason I'm censoring this for the Twitch audience, to a degree, Draco, to a degree, to give you the idea of very little is actually left to the imagination on this one. This is like the only like really racy image. But yeah, there's an entire wrestling mechanic, because of course there's a wrestling mechanic. Okay, so let me just move down here. There we go. That is literally the entire reason Tactical Doge was employed. Thank you very much, Tiny Doge. Pushing, fighting in the dark. Like, it's an incredibly simplistic game. It's like, yeah, on successful attack, the target is denied one of her stats. Successful attacks, against unavailable stat, render the character incapacitated. So if you attack someone's legs, the only art of attack from Barbarian Bimbo in the book. Well, a bit. It's otherwise successful attacks. The entire idea is I'm going to hit you and disable your legs. If I hit your legs again, guess what? You're incapacitated. You're over. But you also get them back. So after the hit, you check first 2. Disabled means nothing. Target's first turn 2, vulnerable, incapacitate the target. After first turn 2, invulnerable. Wardrobe malfunction acts as a way for you to pretty much burn your items to do things. And permanent damage, like, it's really hard to actually kill anything. No, you don't. That's not really a thing. No, bad salmon, bad. Someone get the stick. Yeah, plot armor at the end of the day is literally just clothing for enemies. Because there really isn't actually a method to stop the characters from completely slam dunking an enemy in the first turn. Because there just isn't that many things. And that's kind of the tragedy of it. Also, this looks... Critical misses in combat, other uses of movement. Equipment is exactly what you think it is. You want to roll tables? We got tables. Tables for days, because we need to make things. These mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just remember that. Heavy weapons. There are nothing that keeps... No one cares about heavy weapons. It literally means nothing. Light weapons mean nothing. You just make them to make them look cool. Magic items kind of get some other things. But usually it's just giving you attributes increase or giving you something different. Yeah, like the Chastity Belt Buckle. This highly ornamental silver belt buckle is the size of a small commemorative plate. Boldly proclaims that the wearer is attended some rodeo or other. Its wearer cannot be forcibly dismounted. That is quite literally what your things are. Oh, I think this was mostly to emphasize this section. Like, you want to take a look at the outfit. That's the point of this section. Because, like, you actually get some cool outfits every now and again. And then it's just like this section is quite literally like, look at here at all the magic items. Such as the handbag of holding or the hoochie shorts. A bimbo wearing these shorts gain the benefit of the dad-ass ability. Because this is all they can really use. Like, decorative material doesn't really mean anything. It's all kind of narrative, but kind of not at the same time. It means something, but doesn't. Or you can just say, fuck it, and wear this. And that's kind of the... Oh yeah, cell phones are a thing. Bimbo gets distracted by a game mat and is treated as though she had previously failed her initiative check. iPhone, a flip phone. There are credit cards you can buy. Because the entire idea, and I want you to remember, you do not give a singular fuck about what's going on. Like, the magic is completely separate system entirely from everything else, and you have to use, like, mana tokens for. And some of these spells are, like, clairvoyance, like, okay, create item, which is always boils down to make a check. Because that's what you have to make. Because that's all you really have. Also, here's the second mail. And That's kind of the tragedy of this game, is that throughout anything you do, this is fetish material. Out of anything you do, will always be this. NPCs are actually built pretty simply, because all it is they get a single line saying what they do and a number assigned to it. Something relevant, you roll under it. They succeed. You roll over, they fail. That's it. Congratulations. Or you get things like Skinny Jeans Guy, who's literally failure at literally everything. Or the bass player from that one band. The joke is there. And the joke is something you have to understand. And also, women of the chat, people in general. Is bull dyke offensive? Just being honest with me. Is bull dykes saying that term offensive? Because I read this and I'm like, half of me wants to say it isn't, and the other half of me says it is. But this is also 2021 and we live in a society. But yeah, there's that. You can play a feral bimbo. Not mid 2010. This is early 2010. This is early 2010's Chan humor. Because again, you gotta remember, this was always built on fucking 4chan board, and this is why we have like giant gorillas, or all the monster girls. Like I can post this, thankfully. All of these different options seem very odd. Or my favorite one is that the fact that men are useless. Like, this is actually kind of funny. Like, men are completely useless at everything. However, you also have the man kings, such as Chris Rockwell, who is perfect at manning. President Comancho, President for Life of the United States of America. President Comancho is a 47-time international professional wrestling champion, former Navy SEAL that personally assassinated 210 second-in-command leaders of Al-Qaeda, personally murdered Adolf Hitler, John F. Kennedy, and John Lennon. Yeah, welcome to this game. And this is, we'll do some basic, and then we have like the basic ones that you've already kind of seen. It's synonyms for breast, synonyms for posterior, bra sizes, dress sizes, shoe sizes, your horoscope, and you. It's like, oh, jeez. But yeah, no, this is, I think what I wanted to like kind of get across more than anything is that, where is it? I always forget where the fuck the option is to switch it around. Where are you? Where are you? I want to rotate you. I want to do it clockwise. There. This is literally the entire game. And it's, you kind of gotta embrace the chaos, kind of. And once you kind of embrace the fact that things are a little bit weird, it makes it a little bit better. However, like at its core, BBB is not good. It is not good as a game. That's the key thing. It's not very good as a game. It is good as a comedy show almost. It's a thing that you put on. It's a thing that you bring to the table. You slap it down. You're in between sessions. Someone didn't make it the session. Someone's sick. Something's going on. You don't really want to continue the game. Exactly. It's a decent meme. It's a meme game. But it's like, it doesn't really lead into that meme game simplicity at points. Because usually with those kind of games, you want something, it's playable. That's the odd thing. It's completely playable. But it seems like a 4chan homebrew, given published form. If you think it is anything other than a 4chan homebrew published, it's cleaned up, it's perfectly playable, but it's that. And that's kind of the odd thing is, people like to celebrate, oh, Busty, Barbarian, Bimbos, made it, it's good. Not not especially. Not especially. It's like you can play it for the meme, you can have really fun with it, but it's not going to be one of those games like it's time to play. No, it's made. It's a joke. It's the funny haha moment. Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's okay with it, but I look at things at a completely distant look. It's a homebrew with money. That's actually a really good way of putting it, Draco. It's homebrew with money. I don't even think you could make it. Thing is, I don't think you could actually make this game today for a variety of reasons. But that's just something you gotta embrace, for better or for worse. And I think that's kind of its own issue. So we're going to be looking at Engine Heart next. Engine Heart has a very unique history, mostly because it too was a TG homebrew. Look at it, it's Engine Heart. It's so adorable. You can download the core rulebook right here, and all it accessible along with and Viral Games' website's gone, which kind of leads to one of the tragedies of the situation with Viral in more than a few ways. Viral Engine Heart was published. Yeah, and that's like Engine Heart's kind of held in a very high esteem because Engine Heart was made by Viral. Viral by himself is a fucking champion in a few ways. This is the kind of guy who published a lot of weird games. He made a lot of weird stuff. Everything was really cool. Everyone loved him. But it succeeded. Did pretty good succeed too, decent, a little over double its goal. A lot of options, a lot of cool ideas. Look at all these different options we're going to be selling to. It's really cool. Everyone likes it. It's Engine Heart. We finally made it. We made it, guys. But it didn't. Last time I actually heard about Engine Heart was back in the day, and what happened was Viral posted a link, effectively. Someone asked me, like, okay, how much money did, Engine Heart really make? And everyone was like, yeah, it probably made a decent amount of money. Everything was doing pretty good. At the end of the day, he like sold copies of it, was like less than, it was like it was a couple $100. Like, it was fucking nothing. And he's like, yeah, no one really bought it. Like, none of the, because this entire thing was about being sent to stores. Get paperback copies of the book sent to them for free. If any copies sell, or generally encouraged to send half the cover price back to Viral Games. They did not. They just didn't sell. It's fucking Engine Heart. That was kind of the tragedy of the situation. And people loved it, people wanted it, but people didn't want it. It was such a pleasant thing to think about. Like, look at all these cool games we're sending things to, and it just didn't succeed. It just didn't do very well. People got it. You can buy the game. I believe you can buy it on Engine Heart DT Drive. I think you buy it on drive-thru. Yep, you can buy it right here. 2012. This game is almost a decade old. But you can buy them if you want. It's free. And that's kind of the tragedy of it. The absolute tragedy of Engine Heart. Yeah, if you want to make a small fortune in tabletop, first start with a large fortune. Yeah, it's Engine Heart's just kind of saga is kind of like an indicative issue more than anything in the industry. And yeah, it's free. No one bought it though. No one cared to buy it, which is kind of the sadness of it all. Which is something like, people celebrate Engine Heart so much on TG. And nobody cares. They download it for free, and that's how it is. Power and Lies with Kickstarter exclusive Vincer. Everything's fucking free here on 1D4. It's like no one's gonna buy the game. That's kind of its own sadness. And Viral's fucking gone. Yeah, you can see it, but he's just gone. So, Engine Heart. Why do I like Engine Heart? Engine Heart is a very cute game. It knows exactly what it's doing. So, we're going to skip ahead. We're going to go straight to page 9. Effectively, the world is fairly simple. Well, times of humans have passed. All that you have built for is no more, but you and your kind endure. Some robots continue with their routines, improvising the best as they can. Others have found new directives. That's it. The humans are gone. You're tiny robots. Fix it. Engine Heart is one of the few games that I know that can actually kind of tell a few different stories if you really want to. But it always has that melancholy feel to it. Being like, yeah, no, humans are gone, and we just kind of have to deal with it. We're at the vibe. And it uses a D10 system, resulting in a range of outcomes from 1 to 10. Check a sum call. You build a dice pool, and you roll. The goal is to beat the target number. That's it. So, for example, you want to cost somebody field PR's mobility score, your player robot. The robot has 3 D10s in his mobility pool. The programmer decides he and his 8. Roll 3 D10s, and if you get an 8 over, you get a success. That's it. D10 dice pool. Not exactly complex, but it doesn't really need to be complex. It's, the rule of 10s explode. Now, this is where things could really become part. This is the creating a robot section. Because one of the big things was that it's like you're building a robot. They're different from people. You have all your different attribute ratings. You have your different options. And the idea is that you have to spend points to actually buy additional features and additional problems. And then we have all our abilities. Now, it is simple. Like, that's the big thing. The game is not exactly complex. It doesn't really need to be complex. You use your attributes, and you purchase these. You got 100 points. Go for it. You will need to use certain defects to get more, to actually, like, increase your ability to do things. So most likely you're going to be spending not, like, an insane amount here. But you also get things like reality comprehension, mechanical control. Whereas the other really weird one that I always like, buffer, which is pretty much your TN to block people from fucking your sensors up. And a lot of derived attributes and size ratings. Now, normally, your normal character is going to be about this size. Some can get up to, like, size 4, which is humans, but most are going to be, like, size, like, 3 to 2. Which kind of leads to a very different game. Because, and I talked about this a little bit in Project Inchling. The thing with Project Inchling is that you were very small and things become very different. In Engine Heart, that's the same idea. And they even actually has a section about, like, what's living in this world like. It's like, take out your vacuum cleaner and notice how the wheels are not designed for sidewalks. They're not designed for managing outside for too long. What happens when your vacuum cleaner is alone in the world, being chased by a recycling bot? That's it. A lot of interaction pools, strikes, speed. Very simplistic game. You already know how to play it. D10 dice pool system. Assign an attribute. Assign your attributes, roll the pool, get over your target number. That's how you succeed. But it's the way it does that, and how the artwork goes into this, and you can reset, and one of the big things is reprogramming a robot, because it's actually kind of hard to kill a robot, because it's a fucking robot. So one of the things you have to do is reset them. You reprogram them, go into their mind, rip out the guts, and replace it with something else. And that's it. That's kind of the... very simple game. Very evocative, though. You know exactly what you're getting into. And there's 1,000 fucking features, which some of the features are pretty useful. Like, oh, that's armor chassis. This makes sense. Frames more durable than normal. Impact caused by damage. Club, arbiter, vice grip. Automatically reduced to 1 point every level of armor chassis casing. That's it. What's the anchor? Oh, you're an android. Cool. Your attendant. Oh, you're an attendance one. Cool. You automatically kind of have an idea of like, oh, I want to play a battering ram robot, or I want to play a android, an android barman who's kind of left the everything. He's kind of vibing his own way. That's what Engine Heart's about. It's a game about trying to find about you, what you want to do. Now, some of them are painful, like such as the biofrequency scanner. Like, oh boy, it's the biofrequency scanner. And like, if you try to play the game as a normal game, and if the GM isn't kind of getting it, this is one of those games like the GM has to be in the right mindset. If the GM is not in the right mindset, this game isn't going to work as well, because it really requires a very specific vibe and very specific players for you to understand that you are not playing people going on an adventure to save the world. You're playing a bunch of tiny robots trying desperately to not die. That's it. And it's about finding power. It's about finding things. It's like, hey, you're a common model robot. There's dozens of you. Find replacement checks. Well, we need to find, oh, here's a cutting laser. Here's a disposal thing. You're naturally drawn to be like, well, obviously I need a drill, or oh, obviously I need a cutting drill, or I need something to be combat. I want to be optimized. Optimizing doesn't really make fun characters in Engine Heart. Making an odd bot makes a fun character. Making a trash bot who has no ways of defending himself, really, is interesting. Playing a combat monster who can absolutely destroy everything but not really having that original purpose as well. Because it's like, why would anyone ever pick a fan? Well, you pick a fan because your character would make sense having a fan. Or hey, why would you ever pick floodlights? Because your character would have floodlights. It's a game you need to really emphasize the fact. If a game lets you create a character that doesn't work with the game is supposed to be, that's a failure of game design. I counter that with, one of the things is, you can make a character like that. That's the thing. If you want to say, I am a military combat bot, I am a monster at fighting, I'm a horrifying being of death and destruction. You can do that, and that makes sense. That's actually a fairly interesting character. Like, hey, I'm an android security officer, and of course I have all these things. Or I'm a drill bot, that's why I have a drill. That makes sense. However, if you're looking at it as a player, if you're looking at it with that lizard brain of yours, that very analytical, like, well, obviously, I need to pick up, well, let's see. I, of course, need to pick up high speed, because high speed is going to let me do things better. Not because it makes sense for my character, but because I want it. Or I want, where's like the one that's like really good? Like, Or things like, oh, I want to pick up Giant because I know Giant's going to give me benefits. Oh, I know that like Gyroscope's going to pick up benefits. If you're looking at it as a purely analytical, benefit-driven, it loses something. If you're looking at it as, I'm a construction robot, so I have a jack. No shit you have a jack, because you're a construction robot. That makes sense. If you try to optimize this game, the game stops working. The magic kind of leaves it. If you embrace that, though, if you embrace the fact that you are a fucking vacuum cleaner robot with floodlights, and you are desperately trying to survive that, that makes a little bit more sense. It's the same way of, if we're looking at games like D&D, for example, everyone knows fucking D&D. You may say, as your paladin, it's optimized for me to go an Oath of Conquest, just because, actually no, it would be Oath of Conquest. Oath of Conquest, because I know I'm going to get the most bang for my buck if I go with that. It may make no fucking sense for my character to do that, but Optimize brain says this. Like, I can fluff it as much as I want, but it's like, makes no fucking sense anyway. Engine Heart takes that and like has to kind of boil it up to the main forefront of the design, unfortunately. Like, you have to be saying, I want to play a vacuum bot. And you gotta understand you're going to play a fucking vacuum bot. And does a vacuum bot need a power drill? Probably not. Because some of them are like, loudspeakers mean nothing. But you make sense that you would have a loudspeaker in some cases. So it's like a lot of these different options seem like really good or really bad, or nuclear batteries are a fucking death sentence. Do not pick nuclear batteries, you will explode. But it's like, okay, I want to play a turbine bot. Like, I want to play this big old, like, self-charging robot that charges others. Like, okay, I want power dock, and I want, like, a rack so I can, like, carry other robots. And I want, where's the one? There's one which is like wind turbine. Like, I want a wind turbine. Like, I want to have things that allow me to be a giant robot that can carry other little robots and charge them. Because I'm a giant turbine bot. It may not be optimal, but that doesn't need to be optimal. And that's kind of the one thing with Engine Heart that you kind of have to understand. Or you get things with like, oh, buggy cameras, like, okay. Where was like some of the defects you can kind of get like, oh, like we can get rid of that. Or it's like, oh, it's inflammable, more vulnerable to the most temperature similar model. Like, you just fucking get explode. Or you have no limbs. You have a model error. Or you overheat easily. You're fucking mute. You have to play this game. Given the setting, what is the adventure, the plot hook of the world? You know, the thing that makes players unite to play a story. Usually, they actually do address that at some points. So, if I scroll down a little bit. One of the main things is that you are... It's a fish out of water story at the end of the day. And when the incentive is, you are always on a time. You are on a clock permanently. Because your battery is ticking down slower and slower. Every day you do something. Every moment you're doing something, your battery is going lower and lower. And if your battery hits 0, well, you enter sleep state. If your battery enters 0, complete 0, you're dead. In some games, you need money to buy survival equipment. In things like D&D, you go on to do an adventure to slay monsters, get paid. Cool, that's fine. In Engine Heart, it's, we are working together because I am a vacuum cleaner, you are a smelter bot, and that guy is a repurposed android war bot, but he can't speak. So we have to work together to surmount like really weird challenges, because it would no longer be, we need to blast our way through the enemy. It's, we need to get through this city because we know there's a singular charging dock on the other side of it, and we do not have enough time. That's why I say, like, you really need to get into this story this idea of you don't really have options. It's a post-apocalyptic story at the end of the day, but everything has a time limit. And it's one of the other issues with Engine Heart. Engine Heart does not really want to hold your hand when it comes to making its stories. It just says, here's the situation, here's the problems, you're a fucking toaster, go for it. It's like, oh no. A lot of environmental hazards, low traction, useful pools, hindering a bot, reprogramming a bot. It's... How does your toaster, your washing machine, and your vacuum cleaner go out to save the day and not die? That's it, really. There are some options for, like... I like all the, like, little tables and stuff like, oh, here's a random locale generators and things like this. Like, this works. It... You know, oh, you have all the various social structure crowds, like, or how the, like, the robots are all, like, very odd, because they immediately, they don't like working with people, and the second they do start working together, it forms hierarchies, because, like, oh, yeah, here's do a single overbearing presence, police states, conversion states, or encryptocracy. We've been all reprogrammed. Bullyocracy, yeah. The locals cooperate under duress and see charging rights to each other based on hostile actions or the threat of possible hostile actions. The best way to think about it is, picture if a warbot, you know, Tanko the death bot, walks up and it's like, all right, I want to get charged, and everyone's like, oh, all right, yeah, there's a charging station over there. You're like, okay, it's my charging station now, like, and your fucking toaster is like, but I want to charge, being like, no, you don't. Fuck you. That's a bullyocracy. It is usually like a group of people, or it's like, it's all the toasters banding together to beat the shit out of one person, or threatening to overclock him in the middle of the night. Like, this is a character right here. Handy helper, you know, escort humans from the vehicles to the building. This is your character. Here's all your biofrequency scanners, your loose connection, minor principles, plastic casings. This is your character's going to look like. If you don't play it like this, because of, like, even if you look here, like, he doesn't actually have any, like strict combat features. He's not going to do too well. Because guess what? He's a fucking helper bot. He's the little robot that guides you to the fucking store. That's his job. That's what he does. Lizard brains are going to see he's not optimized enough. Monkey brains are going to see the numbers not very high. He wants to make number go higher. You really need to invoke that deeper thinking with this game. And kind of, I wouldn't say gimp yourself in some cases, but understand that it's like, yeah, Road Boy automatic paver, maintain the parking lot. That's your job. You're a K-model messenger. You know, DocBucks automated repair bot. Like, it's a lot of these little characters you need to understand that you can build AIs. I have heard people talk about the AI, and people don't like the AI very much. AI system, because it's really tacked on. But yeah, that's literally the entirety of Engine Heart. You build, yeah, I think this is the best way to kind of summarize it. Take your vacuum cleaner outside. If you don't have a vacuum, it's another small appliance like a humidifier or a printer will do. Take it for a walk around town. Never thought about indoors are so fragile and frail on the hard, gritty sidewalks. Drag it around a little more. So even sidewalks, let me drag it through a park. Now imagine that you aren't around to take care of it. When it's on its own, is there things out there? Would your little vacuum be able to fend for itself against a hungry recycling bot? How long can you vacuum survive like this? Everybody, look at him. Look at this man. Look at him and laugh. God. US Jude 123450. Wow. Fucking Superman there. Jeez. Fuck off. I don't want to be famous. This is known. That fucking vacuum robot's making me feel bad. That is how this game works. And that's something like, that's like the core thing you kind of gotta dig into your brain. This is a game about innocent thing in not fun situation. It does invoke some idea, like, for those who've played Necronica, I've heard of Necronica before, one of the key like things Necronica uses to kind of get you into the mood is you have this very overriding, defining feature of innocence. And this innocence kind of contrasts the fact of like, oh, look at my battle lolly, she's so cute. She no longer has a head because she got it tore off. It's not really Feels Bad Man the game. It's feels melancholic. And few games can really pull off that feeling. Girls' Last Tour is a really good example of this. The world of Girls' Last Tour is so hostile and so barren, but also nobody really cares anymore. It's like, yeah, it's the end of days, but we at least are gonna keep powering on. But picture, instead of the two girls, you just have the bike. That is the entire character, is the bike. And the bike is talking with the rifle. And it's those two going on an adventure to fulfill their final mission. That's Engine Heart. It's this very quiet, like, you can have this, like, hyper-violent, like, it's time to bully fight. You can fucking make, Heart Gear. Everyone should read Heart Gear, by the way. It's an amazing manga. Which kind of plays on the same tropes, which I adore. Actually, you know what? Fucking, I can bring up Heart Gear. Heart Gear. Yeah, Heart Gear is amazing. Where was the one character that I literally like? Because she's cool. Bring me the maid. Okay, yeah, like, she's wearing her, like, battle getup. However, the entire idea is that she's a maid robot. She was built from the ground up to be a maid robot. However, she realized very quickly that she can't defend people as a fucking maid. Yeah, you saw Boo, probably. Yeah, welcome to fucking... I can try my best. We're not going to talk about this. Like, this... What the fuck? No, we're getting out of here. But, like, how does a maid robot survive? How do thing that shouldn't survive? That's kind of the core of Engine Heart. You can make it like, oh, it's time to be violent and it's time to bully people. But, like, one of the suggestions they bring out, which fucking annihilated me back in the day. Where was it? Yeah, 9 fucking annihilated my like, that broke me. But it's like a lot of these, like, oh yeah, WALL-E. WALL-E and Toy Story. That is how you gotta kind of think of this game. It's Toy Story fucking 3. Or WALL-E. Like, shit's fucked. But we're not gonna go, like, that was like, oh man, time for sadness. This is Eoris. This one's gonna be pretty short because I still have no idea what the fuck Eoris is about. Engine Heart's good. Like, Engine Heart is objectively pretty good. Eoris, I still have no fucking idea what the fuck is going on with this. So, Eoris at its core, if you look at Eoris, it really doesn't bring, Eoris, like a dream atlas. This is the one that pops up. This is the setting. And, like, here's this huge thing that you have to buy. It's $15 to actually get the setting. and nobody knows really what's going on. Like the actual like Eoris Essence book, the book we're going to be going over right now, isn't actually, it does has zero setting information. This is going to be a porn site, isn't it? What the fuck? Yeah, Eoris Essence isn't real, I guess. The Essence RPG. So let's do some more Eoris Essence. Amazon.com write-up. Like, it's hard to find anything on this game because everyone's like, what the fuck? Okay, here we go. Here's the website built in Wix. Oh yeah. Here's the Essence system. Like, it's not really complex. Let's talk about character generation. Illustrated character creation. The FAQ. One for each character type. This game is fucking weird. And it's fucking weird in the idea that there is so much shit. Illustration of ArtStation. It's not like a Morkborg the way it... Is it entirely built to be artsy? I don't know. Like, half of me actually thinks it is. It's supposed to be like an art piece first and everything else second. But then there's other bits like this. Like, he clearly cares about the game. Whoever, like, process, yeah, perhaps one of the most interesting, defining, cool parts of roleplay, you creating a character. Take a while, like, yeah, it does take a long fucking time. Or it's like, is there a PDF? Yes. Books coming out? Yes. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, actually, let's see the creators. Who are you people? Yeah, Colombia, South America. South American by Daniel Torres. Book manager released 2010, nominated 2 Emmy Awards in 2011. Civilization Planet Eoris, Battle for the Armies of the Last Spirits, and Celestial War for the Future of All Creation. The best way to kind of summarize this game... here, give me 1 second. This is literally the entire game. Just play this song and just repeat. It's just like, my brain has expanded. I'm ready to confront whatever the fuck the spirits are. I'm a bear man, but I also have an echo, which is my second self, which is a second character entirely. Fuck it, we're going to space now. That is this game. It's great, isn't it? This game is so bizarre, and it's hard to find anything about it, but it's about a decade old at this point. And I'm like, alright, there's gotta be some cool stuff here. Not really. However, my favorite part. This is a dice pool system. Alright, kids, this is a dice pool system. But not any kind of dice pool system. Oh, no, no, no. This is a D20 dice pool system. Yes, there's a chance you'll be rolling about 15 D20s at once. This is what I mean by this game is so bizarre. It's like, what? What in God's name are you talking about? Like, alright. Yeah, like, why is there a poet? Like, there are poets in this fucking game. And, like, the artwork is actually pretty decent. I actually enjoy the artwork, honestly. I have no idea what's going on. And it looks really terrifying of, like, what in God's name is going on? Like, what is any of this? Yeah, only South Americans could have made this. Yeah, pretty much. Like, it reminded me of a... Let me see if I can... Where is the free download section? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there are technically three character sheets. And we also have vehicle character sheets, because vehicles have character sheets, don't forget. But where's the simple? Is that the simple CS? Yeah, that's simple. So I think I want to get this across here real fast. So this may seem like, wow, this is the meme game. Anytime you see like, oh, is your game complicated, someone will post this character sheet, and this will be like the first thing that you see. It's just like, ha, look at it. It's funny. It's the joke. It's like, oh, it's really complicated. There's a bunch of billion different things. Here's the funny thing. This entire section over here means nothing. It literally says just assign these however you feel fit. The emotional status. You are going to be in the middle for most of the time, unless you aren't. Your appearance is literally just how you appear to people. Or it's like, oh, here's your Seiya. They're magic. Or you have your transcendences, your alpha attack, your beta attack, your gamma transcendence, your delta transcendence. This game is really deceptively hard, but deceptively simple at the same time because of how fucking insane it is. Like, it's baffling of how deep. It's baffling how deep this game can get at random points. And everything looks like this. But at the end of the day, what it is, all that it is that you have a dice pool, you roll your skills, whatever your skill plus attribute, and dice, and that's it. You set a difficulty number, so let's say a difficulty number of 15, and then you set a success threshold. That's how many dice need to roll over that. Actually, the other way around. Wait a second. God damn it. Yeah, you're getting where this is going to get a little bit fucking complicated. Pretty much all it is you need to score 3 successes and not 15. Cool. Roll literally like 17 d20 and go for it. But you also have a special essence die, which is completely different from everything else. Don't think about it too hard. And you have all the checks. Like this section right here, the STM, is very important because it does literally fucking everything. Because positive is bad, negative is good. So let's say you need 6 successes to, successfully do it. If you have a -2, you only need 4. If you have a +2, you need 8. And it's like, all right, this is going to get real weird real fucking fast. You have extended checks and all these different little rules. But you know them already. That's the interesting thing. Like, you already know them. Not quite. So, for example, let's say, I'm going to say, all right, it's going to be target number 15. At its core, this is what all it is. Let's say target number 15. You just need to roll a d20, hit a 15. However, I'm going to say the successes you need 3 successes. All right. So you gather up your dice pool, you roll your dice. If you get 3 or more of your dice have 15 or higher, you succeed. That is it. Except, instead of having like a +2 as a bonus or something like that, what it says instead is you get an STM bonus or STM penalty. So if it's STM +2, those 3 successes you need you need 5 successes. But if I have an STM of -2, those 3 successes only become 1 success. This is the weird thing with Eoris. It takes parts that make complete sense. Like, yeah, okay, it's a fucking dice pool system. This isn't really hard. But then it, words them in a completely alien way or adds in a completely, alien idea to it. Like, yeah, no, this is what it is. Like, what? It's like someone who, wrote a game, who understood what games work like, but then just decided that he wanted to do something unique with it. Being like, well, this is obviously makes complete sense. Because everything in this game makes complete sense to someone. Like the essence die, if you score a critical success, pretty much if you roll a 20, if you roll a success, something good happens. If you roll a failure, something bad happens. But you can succeed at a check but still roll a failure. We've seen this mechanic before. This is not an uncommon mechanic now. But it's said so fucking weird. And then you have the transcendences. This is where things get a little bit odd. So these are pretty much special actions that you can spend your spirit on. You have to spend, or more accurately, you have to spend your energy points on and have your spirit at a certain level. So let's say an alpha transcendence that costs 2 energy points, but you need 3 spirit. Special action that allows character to combine different types of action during a single turn. More actions than usual. Here, excuse it, alpha transcendence, you can perform a physical action and a social and or Seiya action. Act twice during a single turn. It's like these very like, wait a fucking second. Like you close your eyes for a second and be like, I understand what you're saying here. Because all this is literally saying, spirit science, yeah. Okay, I'm not the only one they're hacking. Like, I'm not. I did get that. You're gonna see more of that as we kind of going through a little bit more. But if you take away, oh, it's the transcendences and oh, it's alpha, beta, gamma, and delta variants. If you remove this, and let's say, like a beta transcendence, instead of calling it a beta transcendence, spend 4 energy points, take an action twice. What? Yeah, that's it. This is the only way you're getting energy points, by having higher spirit. So you need higher spirit. And then you also get an Omega Transcendence. Your Omega Transcendence is something that you get to pick by yourself, which is literally a custom super ability. Yes, you get a custom super ability whenever you can build this at the start of the game to do whatever the fuck you want it to do. And like this game is like, wait, what? Why is this here? Yeah, it's Omega. Yeah. You know, someone asked, like, where's the Sigma Transcendence? Being like, I actually thought there was a Sigma Transcendence somewhere in here. Because it's like, wait, what? This is what I mean. Like, you get some points from them that's like, ah, yes, okay, it's a basic dice pool system. And then it's just like, you didn't have to let me go. It's like, what do you mean? Like, we're a Mega Transcendence? Mind you, here's the combat system. We don't know how to make a character yet, by the way. We have to wait 40 more pages for that. Because everything's built on action points, and each action point is determined by your dexterity plus your reflexes divided by 2, which is a skill and an attribute. And then your Seiya actions are your spells, and then your defensive actions, because you have to use defensive actions to use your action points to use them to do other things. And it's like, what? Also, sometimes the art looks really janky, because I know this was done in a poser model. Like, I fundamentally know this was done in a poser. It's like, wait, what? But this is literally all it is. All the convoluted wording, all the odd way of looking at things can be broken down into, you're literally just making a competing dice pool. If you succeed, but you can dot block if you want to, but you're burning action points to do that. You want to evade, dodge plus reflexes versus them. You fail that, you can add it to your parry, but your parry is going to take away all your action points. That's it. All of that, all of this section, that's literally all it is. Or like, here's the special combat action. Here's the grappling, which grappling is incredibly detailed, because of course it is. Or it's like, oh yeah, here. You want a summary of how to parry? Okay, I'm ready. Okay, don't consume, dodge and parry don't consume any action points. Parrying costs 2 action points from his next turn. Alright, he consumes 4 action points for his next turn. Parry is successful is not if you want to block for another friend. You roll your parry plus reflexes and add to the number of successes rolled on the previous defense check. That is all parrying is. You could cut out this entire, like, 90% of this and just be like, yeah, just add it. You pretty much spend action points to get more, but you need to have, like, a weapon or something. Like, alright, how do I actually generate damage? Well, first, like, if I want to hit someone with melee, I have to do my strength score with my strength STM, minus my strength STM not granted by my species. Very different. Strength score divided by 2 with strength STM not granted by species. It's like, okay, alright. You're multiplied by -1, my -0.5. It's like, what? There's so many, like, little mechanics and so many things that just, like, it kind of, like, circles round, like, stop being, like, complex into just being fucking weird. And that's why I think, like, the way that I can really summarize this is just fucking weird. Or my favorite part, because we all, the meme is like, yes, here's my emotional complexities or whatever, it's like, gotta make sure my fucking, the emotional statuses and things like that. Like, oh, my appearance status, my emotional status. Oh no, what's all of this about? It's like, oh, all these fucking points. Fun fact, it means fuck all. It means nothing. Because, yeah, there's an entire, like, social conflict system in this game. Because, of course, there is. And the entire thing is about manipulating their emotional set. It's like you have to manipulate their emotional thing in the grids, and both grids are in the same manner, but players should define a character's initial and position on the grid by filling in the circles in the grid he believes best describe the character's appearance and emotional status. They mean nothing. That's the weird thing. You receive bonus or penalties based on the emotional grid. Does not determine a character's course of action or feelings to a sensation. But it's also like, okay, if you're getting closer to being happy, you 1 die bonus for all skill attribute tech not related to social interaction. For all social interaction if you're secure, or you get a penalty if you're depressed, or you get a penalty for if you're frightened. You look at it, you're like, okay, why is there 17,000 points on it? It really doesn't mean anything. But it's also determined being like, well, obviously, I'm not. Oh, my emotional status. Yeah, I'm pretty secure in myself. I'm pretty happy with myself. But I'm also a little bit depressed. Like, I'm a little bit depressive. But I'm secure in myself. Like, I'm the kind of person, I'm a dour person, but I'm okay with being dour. Add it to your roll. Fuck it. Who cares? If you go closer to being depressive, guess what? You get your penalty. You get penalty dice. You get closer to being secure, you get bonus dice. Exalted, successive die. That's it. That entire section, this entire menacing area, literally means nothing if you don't want it to. You get minor bonuses for it. But then you have the appearance, like any intimidation test. If you're menacing, if you're approachable, if you're rough, but being rough and elegant literally mean nothing because it's literally just about how you look. Oh, tendency to keep particular position by an STM character has the appearance skill, which is a completely different skill. Eoris is such a blindingly strange game. Or like how the magic is entirely like tune based. It's a song. You literally have to say a song to influence the weave of existence. There was an attempt, a failed attempt. Like, it's one of those things that I would be curious to see what this game would be like if you just someone went in there with a fucking hacksaw and just like, let's simplify everything down. But I think you would lose something. I think you would lose some of the jank if you remove the fucking uh appearance scores. I think you would lose something if you didn't have your psychological profile filled out. You would lose something. Like something would be wrong. And you'd be like, oh man. It'd be like, oh man, when you use too much Seiya, you could literally burn your soul. So you end up acting differently, or your consciousness goes down. So because you're burning away your body. And mind you, there's no lore in this book. Like, nothing of this makes any fucking sense. It's like reading through a schizophrenic manual. It's great. And it's like, okay, we're making it. We're almost there. And we're not. We are not. Because we have 3 character types. Here's the Sill, who are ancient. Like, okay, we have to recover energy points, by physical contact with Xylan and taking their energy points. Oh no. You, as a spiritual being, you have to take it away. As a Xylan, you're normal people, just normal. However, Xylan also have echoes if they want to, mind you. And yeah, I want to see this being played, but I don't think you can play it. Because the weird thing is the sample characters they provide are, if I crunched my numbers correctly, the sample characters provided are roughly equivalent to about teenagers. They're about, 15 years old in terms of XP, not young adults. Because I made a young adult character, and he had like 2,000 XP spent over, and he already had like triple the amount of stats everyone else did. I'm like, Because, if you want to have an echo, which is a physical manifestation of their soul, dreams, and memories, you make a second character, who's a completely different character. Like, alright, fuck it. Or you get these things, the last spirit, slayers of the great spirit, fell from heaven to form crystal statues. Okay. Alright. This is fine. This is fine. And like, this is like, yeah, if you play a young adult, you get 5,000 XP. Like this, but even this is like the suggested effects found here. This is suggested. You don't really need to do this if you don't want to, but you can also do it if you want. Yes, you can optionally play a baby. You only get 20 XP and you literally cannot do anything. You can increase skill by 1. You have the option of creating your tulpa, unless you have a secondary form. And if you have a secondary form, then you have to make your tulpa. It's like, wait, what? Like, I've just made a young adult, 5,000 XP, and that is an insane amount of XP. Or it's like, then I did this, like, first dot is free, because if we look at the character sheet, because the character sheet wants to help you, because he's insane, this counts as rank 1. So if you put a dot in something, it counts as rank 2. And you can go up to 5, so it's like, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it doubles when you hit the outer ring. But all of those may also have different things, such as senses, who all are different. It can have different variables on top of them. It's like, alright, you have Aurica. I made mine, I just completely ignored Seiya. I'm like, fuck it, I don't really care about Seiya. Like, if you just ignore it, it's like, wait, what? Character not well suited for meaning still move through it. Human and water, cost for each point of movement skills triple during character creation. Why do you have to buy terrestrial movement skills or aquatic aerial skill? They're like, what? What is this game? And then you have your psych profiles. Patience, determined by player. You can just choose whatever the fuck you want on there based on what you want your character to be. Your stories are like your, like, World of Darkness dots, But sometimes it's like, wait, what? Why do I get like yeah, I just decide 12 points. I was like, roll a fucking dice, fuck it. And it's like, yeah, choose your culture. 3 cultural aspect, power to genetic talents. The numbers beside each cultural teaching refer to the now. The numbers beside each skill of cultural teaching represent points that are added to the impulses or skills score. The number besides each skill is a genetic talent reference to the STM of the corresponding skill. The power of the modification by each culture can be disregarded by the player. You have to roll a d20 if the outcome equal to or higher than the number shown in parentheses at the narrator's discretion. Fails to roll, the character may still be a blood of the people but cannot consider themselves to be born in any of Athenia's tribes. Thus, the character is not considered a pure member of his society. Cultural powers are available, but cultural teachings and genetic talents depend on the manner he was raised. Fuck it. That's literally just fuck it. Do whatever you want here. And don't worry. Some of these, I'm like, okay then. My personal favorite. Who cares? Who knows? Or you end up with like, let's see, my bear man that I made, I'm going Eonis. I'm like, I don't know what this is. I'm like, yeah, I get ignore pain, and I get to hit people easier. I'm like, yeah, that's easy. But yeah, if you play an Aurea, you have to have an echo or an alternate form. But you get a bunch of bonuses. You also have to roll a 20, but only if you know, according to character history, a player can combine cultural aspects from different Athenias or create their own new for a new culture. Do whatever you want. Or like all your derived attributes, all your secondary attributes, all your equipment, all your tuning. Now, here are the races, which also do their own thing. Because all of them also have different attributes for their senses, because they're different animals, they're different people. And usually, this is what they roughly look at. You know, all right, mild telepathy, mild telekinesis, seeing dark 90% of the time. But you need 2 AP to actually do that. These crazy fuckers, I'm like, all right. Oh, they get bonus aqua, less toughness, some more emotional damage. Like the closest thing to kind of like basic human, like there aren't really any like basic humans. Like that's kind of something like you just kind of gotta bear. Like this is the closest thing to like a basic human. And you just start with basic telepathy. Like, yeah, don't worry. Here's my telepathy. The RN, what did I end up making? Yeah, here's the Haroon. Look at him. He's so fucking adorable. I want to pat his head. Yeah, he's very tiny, but also little fucking gopher man. Like, all right. Yeah, this is what I made an Enlil. You can literally just play a dog though. Like that's an option, or a dog cat. Is that what I think it is? No, like these are actually drawn on. I thought they were just no like that, and they all have different attributes and they all have different ideas. Or whatever the fuck these things are. They're cat people. Extremely rare and special. Yeah, you can just play a wolf. But you can transform into a human. Yeah, here's alternate form creation, by the way. If you want to make your fucking persona, go for it. Here's the entirety of vehicle customization, because there are guns in this setting, and there are, like, vehicles. Like, yeah, if you just want to, like, create echo species in vehicles, just make whatever you want. Echo of Uriah, reality or dream? A dream, no. A reality, only not mine. it literally goes over how to make your own race. Just every single thing you would ever need in this game. It is insane. I love this game. Eoris is the best game ever, and I hate it. It's madness. It's complete asinine crazy, and I love it to death for it. And, like, don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't. Like, here's the odd thing. When I say I love Eoris, I'm not memeing either. I love Eoris. It's completely barely playable, but I kinda like it on the same aspect that I like Danmaku Yugi Flowers. The game doesn't work. And if you play Eoris, does it probably work? Maybe. Is it complete madness? And does it take like an hour to make a fucking character? Yeah, it's standing there menacingly. Like, it's one of those things, like, you look at it, you're like, I want to go deeper into this. Like, I want to look deeper and deeper into it. Because I thought it was, like, people have said, like, oh, Eoris, this doesn't work. It's a fucking meme game, and people post a character sheet all the time. But, like, the more I read about it, I'm like, I understand what they're wanting to do. Because all the stats and all the attributes, all that means fuck all. That means fuck all to them. If you wanted to, you just assign attributes at random. Like, yeah, just assign a bunch of points. I don't care. Go for it. It's more about, you know, just the setting and the ideas and being like, yes, I have an alternate form of my Echo. It's like anima almost. It's like a very unrefined anima. Anima beyond I don't want to say beyond anime, but anima. Like, anima beyond fantasy, that's what. It's like a refined version of that. Ironic because they're both Spanish. And it barely works. Like, it barely does. But I admire the fact that someone went out of their way. Someone sat down and said, you know what needs to be made today? This fucking game. And they did. That's something I always respect. I have a blinding respect for. And I love it for it. And I really can't say anything else about it. Like, this game is so broad. And we're not even there yet. Like, there's so much more fucking shit in this fucking game. Like, just to give you, like, the sheer amount of things in this. Like, the artwork is weird. Everything about it is just strange and beautiful and fucked. Like, it's like, what else what do you have to do? It's just like, fuck it. Like, here we go. This is it. Yeah, that's Eoris. Now, Eoris is a beautiful disaster area. Now, I wanted to end off on Eoris here for one distinctive reason. Eoris is not good. Like, objectively speaking, Eoris is kind of bad. Now, this is the book for the system. Like, Eoris is not good. The essence system is overly dense. It's complicated as all hell. It literally tries to reinvent the wheel about 4 times and fucking fucks it up and makes it square. But I enjoy it for one reason, because it did something completely stupid. It does have a fucking psychological profile system that you have to use. It does have, like, 15 different things regarding its spirit science tier bullshit going on. It feels like the fucking Gautier remix on repeat almost, and I'm completely in. Can I ever play this game? No, absolutely not. It's not playable, I don't think, but it's just like having it makes me feel happy. Which brings me to the final game, our redacted game, the game people have wanted me to look for months now. Said I wouldn't do it. It's too popular, I said. Too outside of my niche. Too odd. But too normal at the same time. And I wanted to use Eoris as kind of a pivot point. And one of the main things about this next game is that I didn't really have a good opinion on it. I didn't really have anything to say about it. But the other day I saw a movie called The Green Knight with Dev Patel. Lovely movie. You should see it if you can. Good movie. But I remember describing it to my mom, and a term came out of my mouth that just kind of... I took a moment and really thought about what I meant when I said there. And I said it is objectively good. Yeah, Green Knight again. Yeah, fuck you. Like, I said the movie is objectively good. If you look at the screenplay, it's good. If you look at the set design, it's good. Look at the character arcs, it's good. Everything about it's good. Good. But I also said that it will win no fun awards. Because it's good. It's a solid 9 out of 10. But has no 10 out of 10s. Has nothing that really steps out of its fucking tiny area and really throws its arms wide open and says, I am the best at this. I'm weird, I'm interesting, I'm this, I'm that. It's just good. It's good. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It'll win a bunch of little awards and everyone will be happy with it. And that really summarized my thoughts on this final game. The redacted game, the special game that I didn't want many people to know about. That's why we went from about 10 people, we went about 11 people to only 3 now. Objectively speaking, Lancer is a good game. Just purely objectively speaking. It is objectively good. However, why don't I like Lancer? Oh, isn't it? And I'm not even being a contrarian here, because I can be a contrarian if I want to. But I will say, again, the game is objectively good. Lancer is objectively a good fucking game. Its mechanics are on point, its setting works, its artwork is a little bit variable, but it's usually very high quality. Its production values are on point. Everything about the game is good. But what about it doesn't work? What about it that makes me look at it and I'm like, this isn't mine. I'm not vibing with this game. You know, you are good on every metric, but I just cannot get into you. That's Lancer for me. And we won't be very long here. But I more wanted to put it on this just to introduce people to it. Lancer is Shadow of the Demon Lord. Well, sort of Shadow of the Demon Lord. The best way to describe Lancer is a game of two souls. It is a narrative pilot game. Oh god. It is a narrative game on one hand, you can narrative play and mech combat. It is also a mech combat game. The mech combat has nothing to do with the narrative side. Abso-fucking-lutely nothing. And that kind of, it's like, yeah, taken at its core, I mean, like, it doesn't really need to be. It's always been described, Lancer has always been described to me as a game for people who don't, a mecha game for people who don't like mechas. And I think that's why it always soured me. You left me just as puzzled. What else questions you got, Sachiko? It's... because it tries to be every mech game in a single system. It tries to be every mech game. Yes and no. And I think, like, the big thing about me, and why it never... Yeah, Dan's Eye. This is the secret game. I didn't want many people to know about this. This is the secret one. Answer Shadow of the Demon Lord. That's no question for me. What I mean by there is a divide in the game is that there is a complete divide. Anytime you are not in the mech, you are playing a narrative, wishy-washy D6 system. It's very narrative, very simplistic, very not really care. When you enter into mech combat, it becomes D&D 4th edition with Shadow of the Demon Lord mechanics. Shadow of the Demon Lord is a D20 game, really known for pretty damn good implementation of D&D of D20 combat. It has literally no bearing, zero bearing on pilot systems. And it's a game. You're playing a video game when you play the combat, and that's fine. It's very different, and it does have some like very similar mechanic. That's why it's Shadow of the fucking Demon Lord. If you've played Shadow of the Demon Lord, you've already kind of played this game, and you already know it. Mostly when it comes down to things like this, these are accuracy and difficulty. These are called boons and banes, and it looks the exact same as it does in Shadow of the Demon Lord. This is literally the exact same. Everything about this game is very simplistic and very straightforward. Each point of accuracy, you add a d6 to the roll. Difficulty, you subtract a d6 from the roll. That's it. Multi-talented, resilient. Even so, brand new pilots will measure up in temple battle-hardened veterans when push comes to shove. It really doesn't mean anything. And that's why I kind of want to... The artwork here is what carries the game. And one of the... My very controversial opinion, it always has been on Lancer, is that Lancer, without Abaddon's artwork, is not would never exist. So, what is at its core Lancer? You know, Lancer is by a company called Mastiff Press. Now, Mastiff Press is a company that deals primarily with Lancer content and Lancer things from Lancer things. They are designed to and built from the ground up to do Lancer stuff. Recently, though, they have started with the new Icon playtest, and I fucking hate Icon. I just really hate it. I just find it stupid. But they're the main actor. Well, the two main actors in Lancer are Miguel Lopez and Tom Parkinson Morgan. Now, Tom Parkinson is kind of the, I wouldn't say the bad guy in this situation. That's Lopez, because he shilled the game on TG, and everyone hates Lancer on TG now because of him. So, Parkinson, however, did a very special thing. Here's Kill 6 Billion Demons. This is his game. This is his setting. This is the thing that he made. Yeah, like all of it is Tom Parkinson, Abaddon, you know, MS Paint Adventures discussion forum. Yeah, fucking. And this is him. This is what his thing is. He is a artist who does comics, and he does a very popular comic called Kill 6 Billion Demons, and he's a very good artist. I've always said he's a very good artist. Even back down to his fat fetish days. We don't talk about the fat fetish days now, do we, Abaddon? Is that right? Come on, Abaddon. Abaddon Kill 6 Billion Demons. Hold on. I wonder if I can find some. Because, yeah, no, he used to post on D a lot. Like, if you hunt around, you can find some of his older stuff. I might ask him, like, yeah, you can, he does have very specific tastes. And if you look around enough, you can find some of his older stuff, which, I used to like Abaddon a lot. I thought he was a pretty cool dude, but then, recently, Abaddon got really weird, and, I don't like Abaddon as much. He's kind of a dick. Not gonna lie. He has a very specific point of view on things, and it's very annoying at some points. But this is the entire reason why Lancer is even a fucking game. Oh, no, way back in the day, he used to post on D a lot. Yeah, Abaddon used to be a big deviant back in the day. And his main thing was inflation porn and fat fetish porn. That's what he did. That's what Abaddon did way back in the day. That was his particular things. You can still find some of it. He did scrub. I give the man credit that he did scrub very well. But I know that's what he did. I distinctly remember some people. And I always thought him this like, you motherfucker. Hi, welcome back, Sam. We're talking about Fat Fetish Porn by Abaddon of Kill 6 Billion Demons fame. Yep, no, that's what he did back in the day. He did some weird shit. Again, he was a D man at his core, and the big thing with Abaddon is that Kill 6 Billion Demons took off. He's really popular. Everybody loves him, and he decided to do this with Miguel Lopez. Miguel Lopez is the main guy of Mastiff Press, you can argue. He's the one who actually wrote the rules. Oh, well, vast majority of the rules. Like, the reason why this game functions is because of him. He's also the complete dumblefuck who decided to post on TG that we should all totally back Lancer, and everyone hates him now because of that. Let me emphasize how many people fucking hate Lancer on TG because of him. He's a dumb fuck. Like a legitimately dumb motherfucker. Because he thought he could get away with it. But we're here about to talk about the game. And the thing is, this is it. Like, it's not complex. Pilot stuff is broken down entirely into a narrative aspect thing. You build up your license level by virtue of leveling up. The higher your license level, the more skills you get, the more tools you can get as well. Pretty simple. However, everyone starts only with one single frame, the GMS Everest. And General Massive Systems, that's all you get. Alright, cool. Background, pilot triggers, 1 mech skill plus 1 mech skill. All of those mean fuck all when you're actually in combat. Backgrounds, all of this means nothing. This is a completely different game right here. All of these are completely a separate game. And this is one of the main reasons I have a... Coming to see them. That's why I say that's why it's in the games that made it. Because again, Lancer is objectively good. But I don't like Lancer. Because Lancer does the thing where it splits itself in two. And I'm a man of harmony of mechanics, setting, and everything else. There is no harmony in the mechanics. It's like, yeah, there's the audible crunch as you shift gears into something else. And I remember Gino from one of the Discords, he always talked about it when he was running his Lancer game, and how it was such a noticeable twist anytime you would have to go into a different set of ideas. Anytime you had to switch gears to the separate aspect of the game, everything kind of ground to a halt. And you have to plan ahead for everything in this game. You have to set up encounters in a very specific way, and you have to set up those encounters for a very specific reason. You can't really just throw enemies at your characters. That's not how this works. Because if you try to do that, the game falls apart, because that's not how the game is built. The game is built for very detailed encounters, for very detailed reasons, for detailed purposes. Anything else, you're wrong, bad, and shut the fuck up, you dumb fuck. So, this is what it means by the pilot stuff. You get triggers, short phrases that describe key out decisions and actions. Apply fist to faces, you get a bonus to it. That's it. Use narrative play and never apply to attack rules, saves, or any rules other than skill checks. Means literally nothing. Means literally nothing outside of this particular thing. Adventure, create, leader, inspire, patch. Like, all of these things, cool, whatever, doesn't really matter. Like, once you hit the main meat of the game, it legitimately is like, that's fine. Cool. Or pilots in combat, like, oh, here's all your combat stuff and narrative play, but only applies to narrative play. Hey, I'm a crack shot pilot and I'm really good. Doesn't fucking matter if you are not in the mech. But again, you don't want that aspect because the entire game is built around the mechs. That's not the purpose. Here's the titular Lancers, and here's their mech. Look around it and clap, please. Mechs have a little bit more going on for them because they have things like hull, agility, systems, and engineering. Wow, look at it, everybody. It's almost like it's a game built around mechs. You have your frames, and your frames determine what you look like, appearance, size, and function. And those, you are... This is where the main meat of the game is. If you don't like mechs, do not play Lancer. Would I recommend Shadow of the Demon Lord? If you want kind of that, like... I'm going to call it messy fantasy. Yeah. It's good. If you, like, it's one of those things, like, if you look at the cover and be like, that doesn't look very appealing to me, don't get it. Like, if you want just, like, a pretty solid, like, messy fantasy Diablo, like, if you want something that looks and runs like Diablo, go for it. If you don't want something that looks and runs like Diablo, don't get it. Like, you're playing, it's very much Diablo, and it kind of does the same thing, where it's, like, very focused on itself when it comes to that. If you want, like, a D20 experience, if you're feeling... Oh, yeah, no. If that's what you're into, go for it. If you... I would always consider, like, take a look at, like, a quick start, at the quick start rules and shit like that. You can usually find those for free. Just to take a look at it to make sure everything is like, yeah, okay, this is exactly what I'm going for. But, like, Shadow of the Demon Lord is one of those, like, objectively good games. Like I said before, like, it's good. Not for everyone, but it's good. There's also a lot of, I will say, when it comes to it, inside the book you'll find, like, and a lot of conversation usually, like, look, it's the spell that makes people shit themselves to death, or, oh, look, it's the exploding penis spell. When it's like that, it's like, understand that it's a small, it's a part of the game, it's a part of the look. I mean, it's not called Shadow of the fucking Unicorn Pony Lords or whatever. Like, you get what you pay for. But yeah, the mounts are how many limited number of weapons determined by their frame, and each mech frame has a different number of different mounts. I like this. The thing is, I actually like... I like this. I like Lancer. Like, I don't like Lancer's philosophy. I like Lancer as just like a base default thing. Like, as someone who enjoys mechanics and enjoys things like that, Lancer's fine. Again, it's objectively good. Let me always remind you that, like, this game is objectively a good game. However, I don't much care for it as, like, the, like, be-all, end-all, like, this is the mech game for people who hate mechs. I'm like, if you hate mechs, why are you playing a mech game? Like, really. It's like, I don't like the fact that pilots are completely separate and there's no good pilot rules, really. Because who fucking cares? Just play your narrative and wink to yourself. Because that's what Lancer community is all about. Holy fuck, the community is toxic as fuck. But it's like, it's very gamey. I will say that. You are not playing a... I think the best way to word it is that you are not playing a tabletop role-playing game. You are playing a video game in tabletop form. That's why you only start with the Everest, because you've booted up Lancer, version 1, Lancer EXE, you've booted it up, you started a new game, you named your pilot, and you have the Everest as your starter, you click on the Everest, and that's what you start out with. There you go. Fine. Cool. Level up. Get more frames. Get more parts. And you'll always add and click all the little new parts together. That's what Lancer is. If you think Lancer is anything other than that, you're going to be mistaken. The pilot push their mechs past the limit. And I will give this. Lancer works for that reason. There is a separation for, like, oh, it makes sense the pilots are different from the mech. But it's like, it never appealed to me personally. And, like, I'm being kind of negative on it, but it's like, yeah. Because it's not really about being... How do I want to word this? You are not playing this game because it's like, oh yeah, it's time for some hardcore mecha bullshit. No. You're playing this game because you want to get online on Roll20 and you want to have the little map set up, you want to have everything set up, you want to play a video game for people who don't play tabletop games. And that's okay, that's fine, but good fucking God, shut up about it. That was one of the reasons I didn't want to talk about it even, because there are so much fucking things in this game. But it's like, doesn't matter. That's the weird thing. It doesn't matter. Be like, oh, well, here's all this, like none of this matters. Here's the mission. Here's what you have to roll what the mission is. Okay, we've rolled what the mission is. Then we got to prepare. We got to choose our reserves. And I want you always to remember, this entire game is, make it a video game, and I think I'd be over it. I would be completely over this little video game. But it's not. It's not a video. It's really not. If this seems appealing to you, though, that's fine. That's the big thing I want to get across. It doesn't appeal to me. And it doesn't appeal to me because I don't want that. I like my games to be really integrated. With stuff like combining, no. Sorry, Mech Girl. None of that here. No. No combining. Unless you play, I think it's called a goblin, but then it's like you literally riding another mech. Not really. There are a few combiners out there. Some of the mech games, there are a few mech games out there that do aspects of that. What is that one people keep wanting me to do on the fucking Mecha Monday threads? Mechton? Mechton does it, I think. The one guy that always shills that fucking game. Like, there's a few games that do, like, combining is a bitch in any RPG. Like, combining is the awful. Here's the narrative. Like, yeah. Following section deals with narrative play. Part of the mission is more freeform than mech combat, more structured. Turn-based, you are playing two different games. You have two different games in this book, and you're going to enjoy doing that, having two different games. That's it. You roll a d20 and you have fun. Roll the d20 and clap your hands when something goes right. That's fine. Some people like this. Some people like. So there's a reason people adore this game. I don't, because of that. Because it's so separate in game. It's like, oh. It's like, okay, here's the downtime mechanic. If you don't have the downtime mechanic, the game stops functioning. It's like, oh boy, look at this. It's tactical advantages, orbital drops. It's this. It's downtime activities. It's gathering information. It's carousing. And this is what I mean by some of the narrative stuff. It's like, on a 9 or less, decide whether you had a good time or not. Either way, you wake up in a gutter somewhere with only one thing remaining. Your dignity means nothing. Your memory means nothing. All of your possessions, that's something that's tangible. Voltron. Okay. Like, two mechs, like, forming together to form a bigger mech. It's a lot of... You're going to enjoy this. He does very much borrow from the PBTA thing, which he's obsessed with. If you don't like that if you don't like that narrative aspect and you want something a little bit more crunchier with pilots, you're not going to get it here. Don't think about it. You can honestly ignore that entire section if you want to. But, again, look at the art. Look at the artwork and clap, everybody. Look at it. Clap. But yeah, here's the turn-based combat system. This is what the game is. If you like it, here is the game. This is what you do. You get two actions. Nope, you get two of your actions. So you get one, you can move. You can pick a full action or two quick actions, or once per turn you can overcharge for a quick action and heat. That's it. And you're going to like it, because that's what you're supposed to like. It's a mech game. If you don't like that aspect of it, if you don't like the fact that you kind of have like these very separate games, you're not going to like it. You're not going to enjoy the game as much as other people are. And that's usually, like, the problem is, like, conversations of this game usually don't talk about the game itself. It usually devolves into the setting, because whoever wrote the setting, whether it be Miguel or Tom, they're communists. And, well, I don't know if they're communists or not. The problem is they write like them. And they accidentally kind of wrote things in a way it was like, yes, in the communist utopia, everything is fine and great and wonderful. And obviously, that's going to piss some people off. Which they did. Quickly. And like every single conversation like always devolves into Lamau the Union is communism. And it's like, oh, well, this conversation is completely fucked. But yeah, no, pilots are useless in combat. It's like, oh wow, look at all this. Doesn't mean anything. You're gonna fucking die if you do. People usually like to shill this game. It's like Titanfall. It's not. Do not think this game is Titanfall. The pilots in Lancer are fucking stupid. They are very fragile compared to the pilots in Titanfall. The pilots in Titanfall are actually very maneuverable and very skilled at what they do, and arguably more dangerous out of their mechs sometimes than in it. As they can hop on mechs, they can do a lot of damage. They're able to do things that really influence the battlefield. Not so much in Lancer, because that would imply that the pilots, let's do it together. That would imply the pilots have anything going for them, and that you would need to write a pilot section. But since the pilot section is completely narrative based, it means nothing. So we can't have them be good. That's the problem. You can't really have those characters be competent at anything, because then it breaks the game. So they aren't. And I think the big thing is, like, if this appeals to you and like the artwork is doing to you, and if you want like just a fun mech combat system, if you just want to fight and kill each other, cool. Go for it. Play it. Have fun. But this is what the game is. Like, this is... Like, I'm going to show you what the entire game is, and you're going to... yeah, here's all the gear stuff, and... Yeah, you like all the gear and GMS flight system. Alright, I'm going to show you what the entire game is. Like, okay, wow, we're going along. Wow, general systems. Okay, okay, where's the Everest? Give me the Everest. I just want the Everest. I have the Everest. No. This game is also like 160 megabytes. This thing fucking chugs sometimes. Yep, and here is the Blackbeard. Do you like the look of it? Here's all its abilities. If you get, the thing is, if you get license level 1, you can get the chain axe, and you get the synthetic muscle netting. And if you get license 2, you get the Blackbeard frame finally for it, and the fleshy launcher, the nanocarbon sword. And license 3, you get all the cool stuff on top of it. And that's it. But I want to get I want to get license level 2 on this guy, so I can get RG seal generation and concussion missiles. This is what the game is about. The game is about customizing your mech to make it fun and cool and interesting, but without really putting in too much effort per mech. Because the thing is, mechs go up to license level 3. And each mech is only license level 3. And that's where you're actually getting a lot of the like details, like the 1 to 2 to 3s. That's where the game is like dedicated to. And sometimes that's fine. That's great. And you gotta understand though, but that is what the game is. The game is looking at all this and making builds and like, okay, maybe if I use the impact lance with the caltrop launcher, but wait a second, if I put in the kinetic hammer, I don't have to worry about that, but I'll actually just use a fucking hand cannon for it because I think that's just cooler. That's what the game is. I want to use this frame with this weapon to do this thing for this reasons. That is what it is. And if that appeals to you, awesome. That's great. I adore it. Go for it. But I want a little bit more. If I'm going mech, I want mech. I want to feel like a fucking pilot. I want to hop in my giant fuck-off robot, and I want to get my shit rocked. I want to hop into it, and I want to fucking pop a hell. I want to fucking die. Because I'm in a giant metal casket, because I hate myself. This is cool. Like, it's the Manticore. Look at it. The fucking art's amazing for it. But the gameplay is this. This is what you get. You have an arc projector, and this is what it does. You know, first 3 target damage. Continue making secondary attacks on hits as long as there's a new valid target within range. You get the smite. This quick tech. You take 1d6 electric AP as your stun target must pass system save or be stunned until the end of next turn. Each character can only be stunned in effect once per scene. That's it. And if you aren't into this, if you are not cool with this, if you aren't ready to play a Pegasus, if you don't want to get into this kind of idea, game ain't going to be for you. Oh yeah, no, there's some clear influences. There's like very much clear influences for various other things. Like that's just kind of a thing you have to embrace. There is a battle mech RPG. There's a few of them. I think there's like 2 or 3 like official and non-official ones. But the big thing is with this is the these are the parts that annoy people about Lancer. No one touched on Lancer. Slavery, exploitation, racism. I think slavery, like, genocide is a little bit worse than racism. Oh no, it's indigenous land. When no one else determined around the table with friends, it's like, guys, stop believing you're the saint of the fucking human. Like, oh no, you're not saints. Like, it's... People like to talk about the, like, oh, it's the Union. Like, the Union's a perfect super paradise that everything's great and wonderful in, except not. Wait, what the fuck? Persecuting great filters pass over human testament. I to claim the stars populated free and no grounds can be walked upon. Why is it called anthro-chauvinism? Social ideology, CENTCOM emphasize strong central control. Why is it called anthro-chauvinism? It doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. Well, actually, I guess. It's kind of a really odd... Like, why don't anthro-jingoism? It's a very odd way of word. Like, that's a very odd way of... let's see. Times of War, yeah, I've heard it's good. Like, there's a few mech games. Like, I actually have a list of mech games that I would want to go over to, but, like, people... If you want to play it, you can play it. Like, it's kind of tied to the setting, which is kind of like one of the issues in some cases, because, like, you are going to... You can technically play it other... And, like, people have, like, well, I am going to play Lancer like this in this setting. Yeah, you can. That's the thing, like, you can do that. Yes, you can. You definitely can do that. However... You have to understand that you have to have the Horus group in there. You have to have the Baylor. You have to have all the... Like, it's very tied to the setting, even though it likes to say it isn't. That's just something you have to acknowledge. If you can't acknowledge that, it's gonna... The Lancer's not gonna work. But yeah, that is... The curious case of games that made it. Games that I think that kind of succeeded past their initial goal. Like Lancer, for example. Let's see, I want to do the Lancer Kickstarter. Nah, this is the Lancer Kickstarter. They made Mud and Lasers. Fuck you. $432,000. Like, Lancer's huge. Like, Lancer made a lot of fucking money. People love Lancer. And I, like, can't really, like... I can't say that it's not good. Like, that's the thing about Lancer that's kind of difficult for me to actually even talk about any remote capacities. Is Lancer is good. Lancer is actually yeah, no room for a wallflower. Yeah, this is like the campaign, and it's are you in that Are you ready for it? Cool. If you're not going to enjoy it, I'm not going to say that you can't enjoy Lancer. I'm going to say, though, that if you're liking Lancer, but you want something more for it, there are other options. A lot more options. That does bring me to something I need to do now. We have to do our regularly scheduled Kickstarter dive into fucking sadness. I don't want to look at it. Please, God, no. Let's do the newest games, everyone. Here we go. Here's Kickstarter again. Oh, yeah. Alright, this is what we deal with in our house. Board game saga. I've seen this game before. Let's see. Yeah, how much money is Avatar at? $5.5 million. Oh, that's just fucking amazing. I love. Oh no, come on. What are we at now? Yeah, that's $5.5 million. That's not a meme anymore. Like, this isn't a meme. Like, this is $5.5 million. It is technically the highest grossing Kickstarter tabletop RPG currently available. Also, hi Terry, he's my friend. He's a good guy. But okay, let's see. Don't tell, because they don't. No one will. Let's see. Oh wow, this looks very nerd, weirdo, jocks, rascals. Curfew, like wow, they are really going. They are going for the look. I can tell. Oh, it's D20. It's D20. See, this just reminds me of Kids on Bikes, which I need to look at one of these days. Because Kids on Bikes is the RPG, not the actual little children on bikes. Yeah, no, Kids on Bikes was quite literally just Stranger Things, the game, unofficially. This looks pretty similar. Yeah, you're gonna. This doesn't look too exciting, but I'm like, I'm in, I guess. Oh God, he's from Philly. Oh man, why the fuck is he in Philly? Fuck Philly. Oh look, 5e. Let's all clap our hands together. We love 5e. Clap, clap, clap. We love 5e. Clap, 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 bang. Five E, 5e. Yeah, it looks like we're doing like pretty sample. Death and Dismemberment, critical hit upgrade compatible with any RPG. Oh, that's cool, I guess. Steampunk fantasy TRPG. Here's the Japanese one. Aggressively Japanese. It literally has no idea what the fuck it is. Oh, I'm going to jail. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, this looks interesting. What's the system? Tell me what the system is. That's all I want to know. Dylan looks like he's about to fucking eat me in a bad way. Okay, what's the system? Stories and limits. All hail the Wayburn family. Do you have a system? Okay, is it its own system? It looks like it's its own system. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we have a system. But what is it? Okay, so nothing's going to happen there. Cool. All right, psionic system for 5e. Okay, okay, okay. What do you think? It's Philly? See, I'm from the other side of the state, unfortunately. So I fucking hate Philly. We're civilized out here in Western, fucking Pennsylvania. We are a civilized people. We don't deal with those Philadelphians. Okay, trick-taking game. All right, that's Morkborg, we love Morkborg, we love Fortnite. 5e. Planned X game. Oh, looks like it got funded by a gazillion%. All right, all right. Hey, look, it's a look, everybody, it's another. Why? Why is this a Cards Against Humanity game? Why did they need 12 grand for fucking Cards Against Humanity? It's a Cards Against Humanity game. Why? That's my question, but why? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's never good. It's never good for me. It's also not liking this network connection, I can tell you that fucking much. We good? We good? Stream, we good? Yeah, we good. We good. But yeah, no, this is full color zine. All right, yeah, more zines. I like zines. That's cool. Galactic Space Rangers. All right, cool, cool. Cuckoo, choo choo. Okay, I wanna. What's the system like? Come on, what's the system like, baby? Give me what I want. Okay. No fluff. Cool. So literally nothing means anything. Awesome. What's the system though? You looking just like, oh, yeah, it looks like an OSR. Wait a second. 5e, 5e, 5e. You wouldn't be making a 5e game now, would you? Please don't tell me you are making a 5e game. All right, cool. Let's see what else there is. That's not going to succeed, I can tell you that much right now. New games like fucking Richmond. This one's hilarious because literally just it's satirizing America's political life. It's just about being a dick. Like that's literally all it is. It fueled by liberal tears. It's Cards Against Humanity. That's what it is. It's Cards Against Humanity, but you have to go along the track. That's the joke. Get it? Are you laughing yet? Why aren't you laughing? We're making fun of the political left. Laughed. Laughed, monkey, laugh. Let's see. Is there anything else? 5e, 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 5e. Everything is 5e. This game made 2. Jeez. Ah, fuck. It always impresses me anytime I see a game like this, being like, yep, it's literally just a print and play game. Fuck it, $4,000. Enjoy it, have fun. I'm like, all right, I'm down. I'm down. Yeah, no, doesn't look like anything too exciting. Oh God, you're still going, aren't you? Oh, you're not gonna make it. Oh, oh no, oh no. Yeah, this is a big oof. No, I cannot chill. We're looking at Kickstarter stuff anytime. A retard wrangler. It's still there. It's still pumping along. I mean, I gotta admire like the bravado of it. It's like it's still going, and we've already looked at 5.5. Can I have 1,000,000 of that? I'd do so much if I got 1,000,000 of that. But yeah. So let's go to my other favorite place. Let's go to Itch and see what's there. I did find some things on Itch the other day, which made me incredibly sad, but that's just something we have to worry about. So let's do new and popular. All right, I'm ready. Okay, a career pre-game lobby, which is a game. Actually, this is based off a game called Dot Dungeon, which I'm like, oh, this seems interesting, and then I quickly realized, hit points between all the characters, your time together in the virtual world. When it dwindles down to 0, it's game over. I'm like, wait a fucking second. Like, this is what the game looks like. My eyes, they bleed. It's like, okay. I actually did get a community copy, though, because, sorry, I'm a no pay gang. Like, alright, let's keep looking. Oh. Oh. October Lust. Game for personal fall for greater thing. Alright. Alright. Too many crooks. Like, a lot of... I've seen these before. These aren't too exciting. Hey, Sigmata isn't here yet. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, this is actually by one of our own. It's made by Varric. Here's the entire game. Here it is. Feel free, like, to download it if you want. It's Sigma, the road to the grind. And you are a Sigma male. Do it as you wish. That's all I can really say. Stigmata or Sigmata? Or Sigma-ta? Oh, Sigma-ta. Yeah, it's a Sigma-ta. It's a D6 game. Very simple. Here, let me yeah. 3 attributes represent your physical, social, and mental power. Range from -1 to 4. 2 points between your attributes. All attributes start at 0. You may lower 1 and gain 1. Your starting money is 1d6 plus 2 million USD. Only fight the reach people. It's a meme game. But it's made by my boy, Varric, so it's a meme game. It's a meme. Yeah, it's a meme game. You're going to enjoy your meme game. If you want to learn about Sigmata proper, I can tell you all about Sigmata. Fuck that game. But I also hate Chad Walker because I think he's a cockmongling charlatan. But what the fuck? But or if you want to learn about Stigmata, my game, then well, tell me about it. I can tell you anything you need. Yeah, it's definitely Itch. Definitely itch.fucking.io. You're gonna like it. I'm gonna like it. Yeah, recently there was a paper mini jam. That's why there's like so many fucking paper minis everywhere. Okay, alright. Our traveling home. Okay, War Torn. What's the game about? It's about being war torn. Awesome. Cool. Choo choo. Alright, game up. Wow. Dr. Allen Allen's game about queer romance, found family, and finding healing through belonging is inspired by the works of Studio Ghibli, particularly Howl's Moving Castle. During play, you'll tell stories about a collection of oddballs and misfits, blah, 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 blah. Community copy. Claim game. There we go. Am I deliberately just taking a game so there's one less community copy? Yes. Oh, Chad Walker. I hate Chad Walker. He's the one who wrote Sigmata proper, and that game's fucking terrible, and he's just an asshole. Like, just a genuinely unpleasant person to be around. But here we go. That's pretty much everything here. Nothing really too exciting. So, I'll call that a stream there. God, I've been streaming for 3 hours. Fuck me. So, yeah, we went over 4 games. And now the thing is, all these games can now be made into videos. That's the big thing. One of the partial reasons I wanted to do Lancer. And generally speaking, we have a few things lined up. For this Monday, we're going to be working more on Iron Hunter. For the next, actually, what I should do is Curious Cases. For most Curious Cases, let me just, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There we go. Not to worry about you. Yep, that's really it. I don't really have anything else. Oh, God damn it. There you go. Yep. I don't really have anything else really set up for... And actually, give me 1 second. The dragon... Well, universe. I don't really have anything like really set up for the next one. But Curious Case wise, we'll be looking at something interesting, I think. If I can find it, I'll find it. If you have any suggestions, as usual, I'm always open for people to suggest cool new things to me. I will say that probably on Monday we're going to be working on Iron Hunter. Iron Hunter's either going to take very short or a long time. I don't know yet. But we're doing pretty alright. Kickstarter-wise, we're doing good. And hopefully tonight I'm going to be working on the videos. I already got one video kind of in the works right now. And that should be up by... I'm going to attempt, anyway, to get it up to... Oh, God. I'm going to attempt to get it up by probably... Oh, cool. We had 90 subs. Tonight was going to be my goal, though I might upload it tomorrow. I don't know how I want to do that yet. It's just a lot of little stuff. But, yep. We're at 90 subs. Fuck me. We're almost at 100. Go me. Maybe if I post inflammatory Lancer content, people will like me more. Yeah, no. We'll see. How many views do we get? I'm curious. I haven't even posted some of the Curious Cases yet. 470 views on the... My favorite. This is always going to be my favorite. The fact that I have 470 views on fucking the TSL video. Because I'm one of the first ones on there. Morkborg is getting up there, 147. We've crested 123, actually, with Necronica. That's pretty good, actually. We're doing pretty good. I'm averaging about 40. About 30, 40. That's pretty decent. So, I had 42 people watch the fucking Fear and Hunger video, but why? But, yeah, I'm going to call it there for today. Nah, that's Thirsty Sword Lesbians. I'm one of the only people who pop up for that video, and I'm actually one of being like, yeah, this game sucks. I'm one of the only people who say that. So, I'm going to call it there for today. Godspeed, good luck. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for sticking around for fucking 3 hours. But, most likely, Engine Heart will get a video. Eoris might get a video. I don't really know how to even fucking handle that video format. Lancer may get one, may not. I might just make that a Mastiff press one in general, because I'm like, yeah, these guys kind of are a little bit weird, but... And most definitely BBB is going to get one. Those are... Engine Heart and BBB are going to get one for sure. Lancer may get one, or he may be folded in with Mastiff. Eoris is the one that is kind of up there. I don't really know how to make a video.